Broke that. This. We stretched. We broke this. We broke the other one of those. Broke this. Broke that. Me. I'm broke. I'm Donna, and if you're new here, we have been traveling around Australia for well over 2 years now, and in today's video I want to show you around and let you know what we broke along the way. I've got a Jayco Starcraft, which is now a journey, and we've had this van for over 5 years, but we've travelled in it for almost 2.5 years now. Okay, well let's start with the outside. I'm just starting to think maybe this was a bad idea because it's stressing me out about how much money we've got to spend on this caravan. But it's all for you. It's all for you. Okay, so we had this stone guard put on maybe a couple of months after we started our trip, maybe in lockdown in our first year of our trip. And because we waited, we do have quite a few stone chips on here. So this is something I would really recommend. And my husband's made some little modifications to it, but one of those things broke. So I'm just going to show you that as well. Okay, so this is the stone guard. My husband added these to it so that they would hold our ramps, which were really handy because that meant that they were always out here and they went really well there. The only thing is now we've broken them. We haven't replaced them yet. So that one just came undone. Now standing out the back of the bathroom where the toilet goes, as a reminder for me to talk to you about our cassette. We were about to buy a new one in Broome, but it didn't really all need replacing. There's actually a mechanism in it that closes the flap. And because the kids just slam it, you know, you're pulling it in and out all the time, it just broke. So we only had to replace that. Okay, so these flaps here, I'm just showing you this just to recommend that you take very good care of these as well. So they open like that. We've got our Weber under this one, but if they kind of get let go like that and they flop, and that can cause these little brackets in here to break. Now, this is not something that we've broken, but we have seen a lot of people that have little plastic things sticking these windows down. I don't know, I guess some people have had wind come up underneath them and they've broken them off. We didn't have any problems with it at all. We just made sure that they were locked down when we travelled. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but up here there is LED strip in here. Now, a lot of our lights have actually gone out. They're not working anymore. Remember that we've had this caravan for 5 years though, so it's not just after 2 years. But you can't see them now because it's light. But how about now? Anyway, we're not thinking about having those replaced because I think Mark said there was somewhere online that we can get them, but we're going to go into that now. We're going to have a bit of a look online and see how much all these items cost to replace and whether or not maybe you should have them in storage in your caravan somewhere just in case any of them do break. Okay, let's go down to the bathroom area. So the washing machine really has been a blessing because we can use it basically anywhere that we can plug into power and water. This is what has broken on ours, and it's just because it gets rattled around so much. The only thing is, when it does actually come out, it means it stops. We find that when it gets rattled around, like when it's doing the spin cycle, that it'll just stop. So it's easy just to replace that. The thing that has broken is this, and I am not surprised because we basically haven't really taken it off very much. The only place we really have taken it off is when we went down the Gibb River Road, and that's because it was like super bumpy and that was for hours on end. But everywhere else we've just basically left it on. So eventually over time these things are going to wear out, I guess. So we need to replace that as well. Okay, now the door. This is one thing that I think you might want to consider actually having a spare one on you because we have been quite remote and we haven't been able to get one. And we've actually just done a bit of a, what's that word for it? Like a posh botch up? Like a botchy job at fixing it up. And we're just using it at the moment. I think they're about 100 and something to replace, but I'll show you what's happened. So basically the door handle has come off, therefore we can't get in. So we can't open this side. Now this has also come off, but we have, Mark's put a little bit of super glue in there, enough that it still moves, but this cord here is what allows us to be able to get in. So if you watch, I pull on it and it opens the door. Quite clever, I think, But that is the third one we're going to have to replace. Now, you may not need to worry about this if you don't have little kids that are hanging onto the door, because they often hang onto it to try and get in. So, and my kids slam the door all the time and it drives me crazy. But this is what happens, it breaks. Now, our cats have been a little bit clever on one or two occasions, and they've actually pulled that cord. They've pulled this cord and they've actually pulled it in. But now I've got a knot on it so it can't come in. See that? Because they're trying to open the door. They're very clever, these cats. So because of that, we got locked out one time and we had to break one of the windows. So all these windows have actually fared very well. Pretty cats. So that little knob there is what we had to break to be able to get in. I'm not sure how much they cost to replace, but at the end of this video I'm actually going to go through and have a look online and see how much all these items are to replace, and then you might be able to consider whether or not you actually want to just have them spare on hand. You may not need to. Now, this nice black thing here is actually from a broken window. Make sure that you close all of these every single time you go somewhere, because what happened is we just left one of these open, and this was right at the first half of the first year of our trip, and this is what happened. The wind got underneath and it blew it off. Luckily, we didn't actually lose the window because we'd be in all sorts of trouble, but Mark has just kind of taped it up, so it's split on both sides. You can see that that's on the inside and that's on the outside. But when we looked it up, it was like $450 or something like that. And we basically, instead, we just keep it closed. Oh, it's so dusty. Gosh, I'm not really good at keeping the things clean. But we usually keep that closed, and that's where we've been having our map. So if there's a state, so when we went to Tasmania, we had the whole Tasmania map there. And that's really handy. So it's kind of, it's worked out okay. That, again, is something that I think we need to replace. But when you're thinking about $500, you know, that's half a week of your spending. So that means you can stay on the road for longer. And now you know why we haven't replaced it. Okay, so this concertina door here has been fine, but you can see there the elastic is just, it's kind of just bent out. So we just basically cut it and made it shorter. There's no spring really in it now. So that's not really broken, but we've just been able to fix it. These curtains here, heaps of those little things have broken. Like, again, it's just the kids, wear and tear. But those things probably, if I could get my hands on them, I'd probably put a little bag in the caravan. It's just nice that the kids could have that nice and tidy, but obviously I'm lazy, I haven't even fixed them up myself. Okay, the fridge. So the fridge has actually been fantastic. It's a Thereford. I think mainly the only thing is you're actually supposed to get it serviced, which we haven't, and also trying to keep the sun off it on the back of it. If you have the sun on it, it doesn't work as effectively, so it's been working fine. But when we did get back, there's a thermos something in it that's actually broken, and the part is about $75 that we can buy online, so that we need to replace. We're fine at the moment because we've actually plugged it into power. But when we're not plugged into power, that is a real issue. So next thing, I'm just going to have a bit of a look online and see how much all those parts are to replace. So I've had a little bit of a look on Google and at some of the websites. I like to use RV Express, but there's some other ones on there as well that you can get. So far I've been able to find a new door handle set, which is $159, and a whole new cassette is $241, but it looks like the little lid slide out is $79. The thermistor, the shower screen, the washing machine lid, and the new window, I'm not sure. So I'm going to keep doing some research and maybe ask my husband where he found them, because I think he said that the window whole replacement was like $450 or something. I was looking up the wrong brand. It's actually a Sphere. So I found the washing machine lid and it's $22.40. Whole washing machine is $3.99. Mark just told me that he found the other ones by looking up the brand, so I'm going to try that next. Yes, I found the brand name. It's Dometic. I guess I'll have to look up the Dometic website. So I found the new window, and I guess we could unscrew the little latches and use them on the one that we broke. I didn't have too much luck finding a shower screen replacement, but I did find this rollaway one for $3.49, so I'm going to note that down. But if you know where I can find one, please put it in the comments below. Well, hopefully this video has helped you in some way if you're planning on going caravanning and buying yourself a van, to know that it's not that scary if things go wrong, and hopefully you'll stick around and we'll see you next time. If you're interested in finding out how much we spend on the road per week for a family of 4, watch this video next.